Hi, my name is Jessie Marks, member of the Ref North American Artistic Team, and I'm here to welcome you to the Ref Color family. We have 3 videos. Previously, on our first video, we covered the Ref Color Cream, which is our permanent line. Today's video is going to be specific to our semi-demi Ref Soft Color and our direct colors. So we're gonna get started. Ref has a really strong belief in infusing natural ingredients into their color. That perfect balance of nature plus science. We wanna keep it shiny, we wanna keep it healthy, we wanna keep it beautiful, and have durable color that holds. We've got our entire color segment, a whole family, from our permanent cream color line into our semi-demi soft color. We've got our direct dyes. We have our bonding system, our bond repair system, Proplex, our bleach powdered lightener. But today we are going to talk specifically to soft color. So soft color also contains our quinoa protein. Quinoa is in everything that Ref makes, and they've chosen it because we're a vegan line. And with being vegan, we wanted to choose a plant protein which closely mimics our natural keratin, our natural proteins found in human beings. But one that can't over-proteinize within the hair, that adds shine, that adds strength to the hair, and full of amino acids. Our soft color line is also ammonia-free. It falls on the acid side of the pH scale. It pHs at a 6.75. So completely damage-free. It has aloe vera in it, which is calming, moisturizing, anti-itch, and antibacterial. We also have olive oil, is the base of the color in our semi-demi line, and it has that semi-demi capability. So we can keep it very soft with a gradual release of pigments and no line of demarcation in the hair, up to a slight line of demarcation. So for clients that are maybe not commitment ready for a permanent line, right? But they definitely want to try on hair color. This is also going to be a great way to add shine into the hair, and we'll go over all the services here in just a bit. It's a liquid oil-based color, so you want to make sure that when you go to use it each and every time, you shake the product so that when they have separated from sitting, you've mixed them up really good. Because it's an oil-based and it's a liquid, Ref also recommends that we use a scale. So we've got the scale, which is going to give us more consistency and more accuracy when we are doing our formulation. So if she loves the color today, she's also going to love it next time because we were able to weigh it and keep records of what that formulation was. And within the Ref Soft Color, we've got about half the shades available in soft that we have in permanent, so that you've got that perfect match to our permanent line. You can intermix the soft color shades as you see fit and create new shades if you want to. So here you can see some of the soft color shades that are available. And this just lets you know what shades you can find in soft color to be able to match up. So it's kind of that perfect balance. I don't need all 99 shades that are available in the permanent line, but I want to have enough to be able to work with, play with, and match up. So again, here you can see we have our woods, we have coffees, goldens. We've got a nice selection in our fashion tones of the coppers, the reds, the mahoganies, and the pearls. And then we've got our boosters. The boosters are going to be an amazing way to enhance or neutralize out shades or tones in the hair that you'd like to see or you'd like to kind of put the squash on. So if you're looking to punch up a red in a semi-demi capability or neutralize out unwanted warmth that you don't want to see, we now have 5 of the shades available in soft color. We've got blue, green, red, gold, and violet. Clear is also considered one of our boosters, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So here you can see the soft color wheel. Soft color wheel is showing you what shades we have available in the soft color line, and I think it's really helpful to be able to see where the colors fall on the color wheel so that you know where they live and kind of what the base of that tone is. Soft color is 100% vegan, and there's so many different things that we can do with it. So to start with, we can use it as a shine service. So it's an awesome upsell for clients that maybe don't even want color per se, but they want their hair shinier. Because our soft color is acidic and it pHs at a 6.75, it really tries to close the cuticle and add more shine to the hair. So it's a great way to add on a service for clients that don't necessarily want color. We can just use our clear and soft color. We can also do gray blending, which I think is great because nowadays we definitely have men and women that are looking to blur the amount of gray, maybe reduce the amount of gray in the hair, but they don't want to completely cover it up. Soft color is going to be perfect for those clients. And one of the biggest ways that we use soft color is to refresh the ends. So if I have a client that I've been doing a red on and she comes back in for her permanent color retouch, I want to be able to put something on the mid shaft and ends of the hair that's acidic and really good for the hair without damaging it. I don't need an ammonia-based product out through that mid and ends anymore. I just want to punch that red back up, or maybe that cool chocolate, or whatever the case may be. So soft color is that perfect option when I'm just looking to refresh the tone or the color that's on the ends of the hair, but in a healthy, completely safe way. We can also do an all-over semi-demi. So for the clients that are looking to maybe make a bit of a change, but they're not looking for that hard line of demarcation like they would get with a permanent color, this is a great way to be able to try on a color for the clients that are non-committal, or they just want something that will shampoo out slowly over time or leave a soft line of demarcation. Because with soft color, depending on the developer that we use, we have the ability to give it a semi or a demi capability. We can also make tonal adjustments. So in situations of maybe the client feels too warm, or the client wants to punch up the violet or the red in her hair, we have options that way too. Because soft color is a deposit only color, we can change things whether it's warmer, cooler, or going darker. Soft color is also great for dimensional services such as low lighting or adding depth back into the hair. I can definitely make things deeper in a completely healthy way that's good for the hair with soft color. Glossing and toning. So I like to talk about this just for a second when we talk with clients, because when we use the word toning, we as hairdressers know what toning means, right? There's a reason for it. But I think clients hear the word toning or toner and it has kind of a negative connotation attached to it, that we're fixing something. They don't understand the full process of lifting and decolorizing and then having to tone to neutralize out the tone that we're looking for. So I like to use the word gloss when I'm speaking with my clients. It sounds good, it kind of sounds sexy, and it sounds like there's a benefit to it, especially when I say to my client, because how many times have we shampooed out the client at the shampoo bowl and we towel dry and then we say to them, hold on, I'll be right back. And we come back either mixing something or shaking a bottle, and they're like, what are you doing now? And you're like, oh, I'm just toning your highlights. They just think we're fixing something. I'm not giving them any benefit to what we're doing except fixing. But if I come back in mixing or shaking a bottle and saying, I'm going to be doing a glossing service on you, this is full of olive oil, aloe vera, quinoa proteins, it's closing down the cuticle, I'm adjusting your color to exactly the color that you wanted, creating shine in a really healthy way. It's actually really good for your hair. The client sees a complete benefit in that. So I like to use the word glossing versus toning. We can also do repigmentations or tint backs with soft color. This is a great way for clients that want to take the hair back to a darker state or more than 2 levels darker than where they started and bring it back in a healthy way and an ammonia-free option, which we're gonna talk about that in just a bit. And then lastly, because our soft color is acidic and pHs at a 6.75 and tries to close the cuticle, soft color is a great way to finish a perm service. So with our Ref Curly Perm, it's one of my favorite ways to go in and do an extra step in neutralizing that perm while also adding shine and a bit of tone if it's lost during the perming service. So our classification method is the same as our permanent line. Our number in front of the decimal point is going to depict our level of depth or darkness or lightness in the hair. And the number or numbers after the decimal point are going to be our tonal reflex. So again, 1 through 10 being our levels of lightness or darkness, and then our numbers after the decimal point giving us our reflex. So our 0.0 is going to be our natural series, our 0.1 is our ash, which is a blue-green based, our 0.2 is a pearl, our 3 is a gold, our 4 is a copper, our 5 is a red-brown, and our 6 is a red. So the influence ratio chart, this is just so that you know, and this matches up exactly with our permanent line, what the base and what the reflex is and how much of it, what's the ratio of brown to the actual color reflex in our bottle of soft color. So just to go over it one more time, it matches again with our permanent line. Anything that has a 0.0 ending in our soft colors, this is 100% brown at that level. When we have 1 number after the decimal point, we're gonna be at a 50-50. So 50% brown, 50% of that tonal reflex. 2 numbers after the decimal point is gonna be a 50-30-20. 50% brown, 30 of the first reflex, 20 of the second. Our 03 6s and 03 5s, these are still going to be 70% brown, so they're a very natural tone, but then they take on 20% gold and then 10% red or red-brown, depending, and we'll be able to see those tones here in just a little bit. And then our double number, same number after the decimal point, these are our intense shades. So we have these available in coppers, reds, violets, and ashes. These, you want to make note, are only 25% brown, 75% of that intense reflex. Our boosters, we have 5 boosters available: red, blue, green, violet, and gold. These are going to be to either enhance a shade or neutralize out an unwanted tone that we don't want to see in the hair. These are going to be great when you want to punch up a violet or a red or a copper, but also maybe you want to put the squash down on unwanted oranges or brassy tones or golds in the hair. The boosters also contain no brown. They do not contain brown in the permanent line, nor do they in the semi-demi line, in our soft color line. They are pure pigments. Can you use these alone? Yes, you can, but I would honestly say if I was looking for tones that intense or that pure, that's where the direct dyes would be more of my best friend. And the direct dyes are gonna be what we talk about here just in a little bit. So I highly recommend mixing the boosters with one of the other soft color shades so that you end up getting better durability out of the color. So some soft color chemistry. Let's talk about clear first. Clear is our 0.00. It has no pigments in it. It is purely for shine. So we are either going to use it for a shine service by itself, or we can add it into some of the other shades to create lighter, more translucent tones. So for example, if I was looking to take our intense red at a level 6 and I wanted to create a much more soft bubblegummy pink, right? I could take maybe 18 grams of the clear, 0.00, to maybe 1 or 2 grams of my intense red at a level 6, 6.22. And it will dilute that level 6 intense red all the way down to a very soft, sheared out kind of bubblegummy pink. So there's lots of different ways that you could do it. Also, maybe you're just trying to create something one level lighter. Then you would easily be able to do that. We always want to use our soft color with 6 or 10 volume. So we have our 6 volume developer, which is dedicated to the soft color line, but we also have our 10 volume. You can intermix it and make an 8, whatever you'd like to do, but 6 and 10 volume is mainly the way that you're gonna go. So 6 is gonna give you a very soft line of demarcation. That color will slowly leave the hair, but it's such a slow release. That's why I like to say it's very soft color. It goes in soft and it comes off soft. If I do it with 10 volume, it's going to be a little bit deeper and a little bit harder line of demarcation. Not as hard as the permanent, but definitely there will be a line of demarcation. And rule of thumb is when you use the 6 volume, the majority of the time would want to mist the hair down with a water bottle. So if you've put the permanent color on at the scalp, you're just going to take the mid and ends, lightly mist them, and then apply your soft color in 6 volume, especially in refreshing situations, or if I'm glossing, toning at the bowl, that's going to be on very towel dried hair as well. When I get into 10 volume, that's going to go on dry hair. Different ways that I would use the 10 volume would be in a low light situation where maybe I want to add low lights and dimension through the hair, but the hair is compromised and I don't want to do it with a permanent line. It would also be in maybe a shadow root or a root smudge situation, or when I'm really looking to blend that gray hair, I'm going to want to use it on dry hair with 10 volume. Soft color is always mixed equal parts. So it's going to be equal parts color to equal parts whichever developer you choose, 6 or 10. And then if you only use 6 volume on the entire head, maybe as a shine service or to tone or gloss your highlights, it's a rinse only. You do not need to shampoo, just rinse the hair. If you use 10 volume, you're going to want to do a light shampoo. And I always tell everyone if they do a permanent color at the scalp and a 6 volume and soft through the ends, make sure you're only shampooing where you caused alkalinity to the hair and where you're trying to neutralize out any oxidation. But the ends having the 6 volume and water, just the water rinsing through the hair should be enough. You don't need to spend the time putting it into the hair and then take all that time to try to work it out of the hair. So only shampoo where you caused alkalinity. Processing time for soft color. Soft color on natural hair, virgin application, or an all over application, you're going to do a 30-minute processing time. If you are just refreshing the ends, that will be the last 20 minutes of the color processing, which usually, if we do a retouch, it takes 10 to 15 minutes to apply. And then it's going to take us however long to apply our soft color, mist those ends down, 6 volume and soft through the ends. At that point, if you let that sit, you're about 20 minutes on the permanent line processing, so they kind of partner up perfectly. And then in glossing or toning, it's going to be a minimum of 5 minutes, 5 to 20. The level 10s need to sit for a minimum of 5 minutes for them to have any kind of durability. I always say if you do a flash toner where you put something on at the bowl and you take it off right away within, a minute or 2 minutes, it might look good that in the moment, but in 2 to 3 shampoos, it's gonna shampoo off because we didn't give it enough time to do what it needs to do. So just think about it, the way I like to think about it is my level 10s have to sit for 5. If I add in some level 9, then I'm gonna add a couple more minutes to my processing time. If I add in a level 8, I'm gonna add a couple more minutes. So for every level deeper you're going from a level 10, add 2 to 3 minutes processing time and you'll get great durability with the soft color. Proplex is perfect to use with soft color in many situations because I might have a situation where I'm doing a re-pigmentation or a tint back, or I'm toning or glossing highlighted hair that was previously compromised. And I'm looking to kind of almost go in and heal that hair in a time when I'm using my soft color. So don't be afraid to add the Proplex into your soft color formulations. It's amazing, it does wonders. It's my best friend in a lot of tint backs, especially when I have the level 10s that now want to go back closer to their natural color. I've really seen Proplex help strengthen that hair and hold on to that color a lot better. You can see in the chart, depending on how much soft color you use, shows you how much of step 1, your bonder, you're gonna wanna put in your formula. And then same as normal, you'll add it to, you'll mix your soft color and your developer, mix those two products together, and then add your step 1 bonder into the formula after you've already mixed your color and developer. Let it process its normal time, rinse or shampoo out, and then you'll finish with step 2 perfector for 10 minutes and rinse and finish your service. When we get into re-pigmentations, which I was talking about, this fill chart will come in super handy for filling and ending up at a more target end result. I think one of the biggest things I hear as a colorist from other stylists is when I try to take them back to their natural, they ended up much warmer than we really wanted them to be. The nice thing with what we're filling here in our soft color, if we look at that, filling with something like 9.3, right, or 7.3. Remember, those are a 50-50 ratio. So I'm putting 50% brown into the hair and 50% gold. I'm not just putting a straight gold into the hair. So when I use these formulations as my filler, I'm gonna end up so much closer to those more natural end results that clients are usually looking for when we're doing a tint back. The chart shows you whatever level you're aiming for, what you should fill with. And if you're looking for a more fashion tint back, meaning maybe you have a level 10 blonde that wants to go to a level 7 copper, then you want to make the adjustments in your soft color that you're filling with something that's got a little bit more punch to it. So maybe 743, or even a little bit of 744 might be fun if she really wants it light reflective. We've added in this chart on the right side to just remind you of what is naturally existing in the hair, and as you're lifting what is exposed. If you're removing it, you need to put it back in for that color to end up more natural and not have a really off-tone fade. So the steps on a repigmentation are choosing based off of the chart, right? You're going to apply to the lightest areas first, or maybe all of it's light and you're adding to those areas. You're gonna process for 20 minutes. Rinse until clear, but do not shampoo. Towel dry, and then you will move forward as your plan of action requires. Meaning, if the hair's really fragile, my next step might just be a 6 volume in soft color. My next step might be 10 volume in soft color. Or I also have the option of 10 volume and the permanent line, depending on the hair porosity, the health of the hair, and what I think it can handle. Make note, if the client comes in for a repigmentation, she's got a lot of hairspray, wax buildup from pomades or different things like that, you wanna make sure you shampoo and clarify that hair. Within the Ref family, we like to use the hair and body shampoo. It has a pH of 7, so it'll help pull a little bit of the environmental and any buildup on the hair off of the hair. But remember, soft color always in a fill situation should go in the hair damp anyway. So a really good cleanse, follow these steps, and you will be pleasantly surprised with your tint backs and how on target they are when you're finished. Here's a couple examples, or a few examples, of some different tint backs, going anywhere from blonde to very natural, almost looks baby lights on this brunette on the left. We can also fill from a blonde into beautiful reds and coppers, golden browns, but you can see here just from these images, they can be, the target that the client is looking for can be from very cool and ashy and natural to fashion forward. So depending on what the client's looking for, it can happen with repigmentation. So that's kind of soft color in a nutshell. And if you haven't had an opportunity to play with it, I definitely invite you to. It's an amazing semi-demi line that really complements the rough permanent color line in a perfect way, in a really healthy way, and a way that leaves the integrity of the hair in great, great shape. So now we're gonna move on to the direct color. So let's talk a little bit about the characteristics and the differences between indirect dyes and direct dyes. So indirect dyes need a developer. So those are all, anytime you squeeze color out of a tube and it's kind of creamy, white, taupey in color, and as you mix it with a developer, you start to see it oxidize, right? Those are all indirect dyes. So when you get in a situation where you have an indirect dye, it has to have a developer mixed with it to work, all right? So it oxidizes. Indirect color also penetrates the cuticle layer. So indirect dyes usually contain ammonia or an ammonia-like product that swells the cuticle so the color can get inside the cuticle layer and into the cortex of the hair. Indirect dyes are also really known for being super durable because they've gotten inside the hair. They've lifted that cuticle and gotten in, but direct color is not an indirect dye, right? Our ref direct color is exactly what it says it is. So now let's talk about the characteristics of direct dyes, right? They do not need a developer. They are put on as is, straight out of the tube. They do not need a developer to oxidize. What you see is what you get, right? So when you're creating and mixing, I always say if I'm putting it on white hair, that's great. But if you're looking to see what you're creating, usually it's gonna be closer to we're putting it on yellow hair or pre-lightened hair. So I like to use like yellow sticky notes. All right, it's purely a stain. It does not have the ability to swell the cuticle, lift the cuticle, do anything. It has the ability to go in because the cuticle's been lifted already, which is usually the situation when we've pre-lightened the hair, all right? But direct dyes, the biggest thing that they're known for is their intensity and their vibrancy. Direct dyes do not contain ammonia and they are damage-free. So that is what the ref direct dyes are. They smell amazing. If you haven't smelled them, they smell like candy. But remember, they're purely a stain. So why would we use them? When would we use them? Situations would be for tonal characteristics. Maybe we have someone that had previous highlights and she wants a peekaboo panel of a certain shade, magenta, royal blue, emerald green, whatever the case may be. We can work it into those pieces to give her punch. Maybe I have a redhead that I've been doing in the permanent line that wants it as red can be and as vibrant as it can possibly be. Then I could overlay with my ref red direct, okay? Obviously, we're using it to add intensity and vibrancy to the hair. Another way that we can do it is adding them in to our Colour Boost Masques, which are part of the Ref Care line. So they're already a colored, pigmented mask conditioner that we can punch the color up if we'd like. Fun at the back bar. I love being able to customize and do a professional color mask service at the salon that a client wouldn't necessarily do at home. We can also add them into our care conditioners. I like adding them into the care conditioners, especially when I'm looking to make more pastel direct dyes and different things like that. But we also do have a clear, right? So we have 2, 4, 6, 7 shades available in the direct dyes, but the 7th shade is crystal clear so that you can dilute the shades down, create more translucent, more pastel versions of, and you can intermix them however you'd like to create any tone that you want. So I always say, as long as I have my red, yellow, and blue, I can make anything, because that's how all hair color is made. So we can create completely new shades that maybe nobody has in a pre-made tube out there, which is kind of fun for clients. When we are using the directs, they definitely need to be used on clean, completely dry hair, all right? And they need to be saturated really, really well. So I like to use a board underneath my papers or my foil so that I make sure that I'm pressing them in really, really well if I'm doing isolated pieces. Otherwise, I'm going to work it through with gloves on my hand and really massage that into the hair strand to make sure I get like that perfect even uptake. And then obviously, if I'm looking for intense, vibrant shades, the hair has to be pre-lightened first. Because it's a stain, what you see is what you'll get. So if I take the red and I overlay it on a natural brunette or tinted level 6 hair, I'm going to get a variation of seeing a red hue on that brown hair, but it's not gonna switch it over to bright red hair, right? The only way I would see an intense red is to lift that hair up lighter so that the red can really, really show through. So kind of think of it like if you had a white t-shirt versus a brown t-shirt. If I took that brown t-shirt and I dipped it in red RIT dye, it wouldn't be intense red, but the white t-shirt would be. So you just wanna think about direct dyes that way. They're very sensitive to what are they laying on top of. And like I said, using a yellow sticky note is super helpful when you kind of want to see what it's going to look like if you're laying it on pre-lightened yellow hair. If you're looking to make soft blues and pastel tones, you want to make sure you've neutralized out all of the yellow tones in the hair with your soft color. Personally, I love like 10-1 or 10.1, just for 5 minutes to cut any yellow out of the hair so that when I lay a soft sky blue in my directs on top, I get a soft sky blue. But if I lay a soft sky blue onto a banana yellow, I might end up with something a little bit more in the green family than I was looking for. So you always want to keep that in mind. Do not touch your direct dye with any indirect dye. Meaning, if I'm doing a retouch with my permanent line, right, that contains ammonia and developer, and I'm trying to panel in pieces of my directs at the same time in isolated foils, I just wanna make sure I can do it, but I don't wanna work that direct all the way up to the permanent color and let them merge, because they don't play well together. They need to stay separated. So make sure you leave a soft space, or you do your directs as a second step in your color service process. You want to let your directs process for a minimum of 20 minutes, and they can go up to 30. You do not need to shampoo them out because they're not oxidative. They don't contain ammonia, so on and so forth. It's just a rinse. So you want to rinse really well and then seal it off with a conditioner to finish. And then some of the pointers I like to talk to the clients about is avoid exposure to saltwater, chlorine pools, and a lot of direct sunlight. Because obviously any of the clients that are looking for those intense punchy pieces and that hair, they want it to stay that way. then you just want to give them those heads up, or that needs to be part of the consultation process, is salt water, chlorine, and daily sunlight exposure where they're sitting out in an intense sunlight for hours on end isn't going to work well with the directs. Obviously, they are a stain, so you want to wear gloves, and you want to make sure that you are, if you were a hairdresser using this at home or something like that, that you weren't working it into a porcelain tub. Otherwise, have your bleach handy, because it is a pure stain. And then removing the directs. When it's time to, maybe you want to switch up the tonal characters that you're seeing in the hair, or the client is just ready for something completely new and different, how do we remove the directs from the hair? The first thing I would do is have the conversation with the client at home to start using extremely hot water, and also any higher pH shampoos. So really nothing that Ref makes, because everything we've got is more of a low pH, but I mean, honestly, in some situations, I'll have my clients maybe once or twice before they come in use like a dishwashing detergent, so something that has a very high pH, because the directs don't like high pHs. They like to live in a very acid-based family. So that will definitely help, especially days or weeks coming up to that client coming in, if they're looking to try to remove it and reduce it down a little bit prior to their appointment with you. And then my favorite that works really, really well is taking our 20 volume developer with our soft color clear 0.00, equal parts, capped and heated for 20 minutes under a heat source, will push out a lot of those directs, and it's pretty much like magic. It works really well for most of the shades, especially your red and magenta. It's gonna pull those tones out incredibly easy. Another option would be a decolorizing shampoo / bleach shampoo. And then obviously, if you have isolated sections, you could use your powdered lightener and bleach. So that wraps up our Ref Direct Dyes. We also finished with our Ref Soft Color, our semi-demi line. So hopefully within this video, I've maybe answered some questions, given you more information, and got you more comfortable working with 2 of these segments within the Ref Color family. And I look forward to seeing your guys' beautiful work on Instagram and Facebook. And stay tuned for 3rd video coming up, which is our Ref Powdered Lightener and our Proplex. Thank you.